Let's cross now to Ali Sara in Istanbul. He's an associate professor in the civil engineering department at Istanbul Technical University. Professor, it was difficult to know how serious this was when we saw the initial pictures. It wasn't until we saw that surveillance video coming from CCTV cameras that you see these enormous segments of the building collapse. It reminded me of the way it pancaked Haiti after the 2010 earthquake. What does that dynamic tell you after you see that video?
Well, yes, it reminds us the collapse of buildings during an earthquake. It can be Haiti or in Turkey and other places. Uh, Most likely, it's hard to know the cause of the collapse, but most likely the lower story columns or the beams had some issues, and they collapsed first, and then
Mm.
you have seen a progressive collapse of the building. Uh, so I'm. So that yes, it's the what we have seen is very similar to what we had seen in the Haiti earthquake damages, or the damages that we have seen in Turkey during earthquake or another part of the world.
So some of the initial things that were said by city officials were that this looked like a loss of a foundation situation, or maybe a sinkhole, something possibly even happening underground. Help us view this from the eyes of an engineer. When you see the way it collapsed, you mentioned that it could have been something on a lower floor, but is this also consistent with something beneath the building happening?
There, there should be several things. Yes, some of the researchers mentioned that the building was sinking like 2 millimeter per year. So that might be one of the reasons, but I'm sure there were other reasons, like the salt water impacted the integrity of the building. It is very typical for beachfront buildings. They are exposed to corrosion due to the salt water, and this corrosion also causes the spalling of the concrete. This is a reinforced concrete building. The spalling means the surface of the concrete peels, breaks, or chips. So then the building loses integrity of it. Most likely, this is a combination of that sinking
Mm.
in the soil and that salt water impact on the integrity of the building. I don't think the sinking in the soil will cause this type of failure alone. Uh, that is the reason I mentioned, I added that salt water impact.
Okay, Professor Sara, thank you very much.